It's TechCrunch Disrupt.
Brought to you by Roku and the Roku 2. Get yourself an over-the-top TV solution for only $59. Go over to geekazine.com/Roku to find out more.
Continuing coverage of TechCrunch Disrupt, Jeffrey Powers here with Geekazine, and we're at BAM.tv. We got Chris Hansen here, and something for a lot of you artists out there. Now, a little bit of history from me. Before I started Geekazine, I had this podcast called the Independent Music Podcast, and the one biggest problem I had was these artists who were all independent art. They didn't have labels or anything like that, trying to get their music and trying to get it so I could put it on my show. Since then, we've made some great strides in that, and that's what BAM.tv is a little bit about. So Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit of how BAM.tv works for the independent artist?
Sure. For the artists, we're really trying to be a voice and a promotional vehicle that they don't have. And for people like yourself who are looking for content, we're trying to be a hassle-free way to license high-quality music. So what we do is we invite bands, emerging artists, into our studio in San Francisco, or we find them at festivals or venues around the country. And we record 5 to 10 HD videos of their performances. We don't charge them anything to record, and we split net profits 50-50. In return, the bands give us a global license to distribute the content. So that's where, for instance, a podcaster it would be nice to have sort of a turnkey solution to license any and all content that you want from a library. So what we're really trying to do is create a new music economy that's not based on major label licensing, but works directly to bring the power and the profits to the artists.
Okay. Now, the first part we didn't really talk about too much. That's great that they can just come to San Francisco and set up on stage. Like, I'm also a musician, so I'd schedule a time with you and then set that up.
Yeah, well, there's only so many bands, however wonderful they are, and however much we might want to work with them. We really try to curate a custom library that's going to have mass appeal, and so we spend a lot of time working with smaller labels and recruiting bands to bring the right match into the studio. And then we work with our distribution partners, among them Samsung, Chunghwa Telecom, a cable company based out of Taiwan, Select TV, Fugo TV, these new service providers, to give them a unique music content experience for their devices. So in the next couple of years, we really hope to be able to scale production. But right now we do about 2 to 3 bands a week. So we're trying to be very selective about getting different genres and just the best bands we can find.
So what's your selection process like? Do they send a demo or something like to you, and then you guys do a review?
There are a lot of bands and a lot of labels that reach out to us, but it really begins with our curation process, traditional A&R work. What the labels used to do, going into the bars. In this case, going to MySpace, Facebook, all the social networks, all the blogs, and really just keeping our ear to the ground about what bands are showing the signs that they're really gaining traction and about to break through.
So you talked about companies like Samsung and stuff like that. Are we talking sponsorships for bands, or is this just a partnership?
It is a partnership. We're being featured on the Samsung app storefront for their Android-based devices. So Galaxy Tabs, the Galaxy S phone that was just released. And so that's not just in the U.S. market, it's in 150 countries worldwide. So they're really just gearing up their launch of these new devices, and we are featured prominently. We're the only music video app, and we're one of the only music apps. In fact, all the other music apps are sort of linear, online radio type apps. We're fully on demand. We allow users to make custom play mixes, sort of a mixtape for the digital age. And then
I love that.
We really encourage them to share their play mixes via social networks and get the word out there about these emerging bands.
Now, is this a lot of bands get a little bit skeptical when they start talking about this? Is this like a contract? Is this like you're held to this for 2 years type contract, American Idol type thing?
We have a 3-page contract in 12-point font. It's very straightforward. There's no hidden, snakes in the grass. If a band works with us and let's say a label wants to buy up their content in a year or whenever, that's fine. We agree to a third-party appraisal. So somebody neutral would come in and say, this is what it's worth, and then they can buy out of the contract. So we're really just there, we don't want to lock anybody into something they don't want to be a part of. But yeah, after we recover our costs and we get a fair market appraisal, we're happy to release that to a band.
So you work like a middleman, which is great, and a lot of bands that are kind of looking, I know some bands from the Midwest, one band in particular, good friends of mine, they've been traveling around the country, and they get great fanfare. So this is a great addition to what they're doing, and I'm going to definitely suggest them to you, or vice versa, so they can send the demo to you and have you take a listen.
That sounds fantastic. And in fact, for bands that tour a lot, if you're playing 100, 200 person venues with regularity, what we're going to be launching next year is download codes. So you can tell a band, your fans while you're on stage, hey, enter this download code, sign up for BAM TV. You can download our HD video content for free. And then once we get that customer acquisition from the bands, we will pay them directly for bringing us new customers. So they're sort of our street team to help expand our base, because it's very difficult for us to, connect with people in Topeka,
That is true.
But the bands are very good at that. I don't know.
Where's any bands in Topeka right now? You need to give him some love here. Get the band demos going. So,
Exactly.
All right. So BAM.TV, BAMM.TV, correct?
TV, that's correct. Yes.
All right, and you'll be reviewing all the submissions, right?
I do actually, and Phil Lang over here, my music director. We're a tight knit group, and we take every submission that comes in very seriously. Info@bam.tv is our general inquiry email, and I'll tell you that goes to all the directors, all the principals of the company, and we really take that part very seriously, because if you start with really good bands that you're excited about, everything takes care of itself from there.
Taking it seriously, I think that's the key right there, because a lot of bands feel jilted nowadays, especially with all this stuff going. I know as a musician myself, playing in places they don't want to pay you as much. They don't want to. You don't feel the worth there, and so getting a third party like this into it, so you can get more markets out there. I think that's the best idea right now. Thank you very much, Chris, for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, I just it really does matter to us. We're all musicians. We started, the founders, many of us were in a band together. And that's kind of the principle behind the net profit share. We don't get paid until the bands get paid. And I think that's the way it should be.
All right.
So thanks a lot.
Not a problem. For Geekazine.com, TechCrunch, Disrupt, we got a lot more video coming your way. And just check out all the YouTube, all the regular videos. My name is Jeffrey Powers.